an ad. Test. That's not too bad. Turn down game volume just a little bit. Test. Oh, game isn't on. Testing. Okay. Test. Speaking a full sentence for testing purposes. Okay. Okay, testing chat. It looked like it appeared. Hey, you made it! By no means you're early. This is literally the first 30 minutes, me trying to equalize everything, get my mic set, my mixer set. My laptop is behind me, so there may be an echo right now, so... And the whole point of this pre-test is to also show that this is the inspiration of my game, this game. I loved it. I played it back when I was in, I think, middle school or high school, something like that. And it went out of, it closed and then it came back, so I think it's just a good way to test everything anyway. Might be a little too loud right now, though. Test. Okay, now I'm too loud. Please? Computer, please? There we go. Speaking a full sentence for testing purposes. Yes, it will. I'm not going to show how I rip the sprites or how I take them out, because that is a process in itself. I gotta mute my laptop because I think my audio testing is done and this echo is annoying me now. Okay, as I was saying. Yeah, the game I'm going to make will be recycling sprites. I thought about it, and I was gonna just try to have everything prepared but I feel like it would be better if I did things more organically, so you guys would see not real world problems, since this is do-it-yourself fighting game, but the normal problems people would go through in making a game. So I will be recycling sprites, and I will be recycling audio basically from this game. But I'm not going to show you how I've made the sprites, because each sprite is a different piece. So the character you see on screen right now, his pants is one sprite, then his shoes is one sprite, then his coat is one sprite, then his cape is one sprite, you know, yada yada. Oh, okay, cool. That makes things a whole lot easier. Okay, anyway, I'm great. I didn't set the 30-minute timer. And I don't have a clock. It is 7. It is 23. Alright. So, let's just do something simple in this game. Alright, now we're going to test the visual capabilities of my stream. I didn't have problems before, but... Oh shoot, I didn't do this today? And now you're going to see another another side of me. My life as an MMORPG player. Yeah, I guess for now I'll just do that. Ugh. Please? There we go. Okay. Leroy Jenkins. Wait, what? I thought you were the final boss. Okay. 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 This is not how I anticipated this. Wait, that's not fair. Okay, I've never seen that attack before. Honestly, I've never survived this long before. Why am I taking damage? Why? This is not optimal. That's... Oh, that's not optimal. Well, that's fair. Yeah. Teleport around the room and then I can't hit you. That's perfectly fair. Oh, my laptop's. Let me just turn that off. Okay. 16-bit shooter. How'd that look in your end? Did that look did it look choppy at all? Pretty sure I have the audio levels fairly decent. I'm just concerned that I may have some visual issues. So that's the whole point of the 30-minute test. I mean, it looked great on my laptop. And it looks fine in my video preview. I don't know how you're seeing it. Oh, okay, that's nice. See, I was gonna get a PS4 today. Not today. No, yeah, today. Black Friday. Yeah, I visited 5 stores and they were all sold out. So I'm still stuck with my PS3. Not that I hate my PS3, but I did want a PS4. Life is sometimes unfair. Alright, I'm gonna try this again. Have a different set of armor. Okay. Try again. Now that I know what I'm up against. Like, seriously, the first time I versed this person, she was the final boss. So I don't know why she's first boss now. I ran into lightning like an idiot. Not my smartest move. Well, that's not fair. Oh my god, please stop teleporting. Oh my god, my health is gone. Oh my god, I'm gonna die. Well, that's fair. Okay. I wholeheartedly regret my decision picking hard. I didn't even get to complete my sentence. Died. Awesome. I don't know if I can beat this today. I really don't. Okay, Will this project also use Striker Assist character? Like from player. The project I will do tonight will not. However, that is a concept I have been messing with and I would like to implement in my game. So it is definitely a subject I would be willing to cover in the future. But that is beyond the scope of this video, and I definitely can say that is more of a intermediate to advanced skill. It's not hard, but it does take a little bit to actually get working. I'm pretty sure you found out that you can't really freeze objects in 2D Fighter Maker. So if you have a character that throws a Hadouken or a projectile, and the opponent does a super, in traditional games, everything freezes, including the projectile. Once time starts again, then the projectile continues its way. So if you were to do an assist, it has to act the same. An assist acts the same way as an object, a regular object. So an assist character is the same thing as a Hadouken. The sentence itself doesn't make sense, but when you think about how it's programmed, it does make sense. If you're familiar with the Blaze Blue series, a friend of mine was confused when I said if you're programming Carl Clover in 2D Fighter Maker, his sister Ada has to be programmed like a Hadouken, and for a while he just said, no, she's another character, not realizing what I meant. So, long story short, or summing up I should say, since I just said the long story, I would cover that subject in the future, but not in this video. This is a more basics thing. It's to get you guys to know what are variables, the basic programming, how to create a character, what your neutral states are, which are actually very important if you want to do air combos. I may or may not cover cancels, because I also feel cancels are a little bit more upper beginner. I know cancels are like a very traditional thing in fighting games, but they're not. They're a little tricky in 2D Fighter Maker 2002. The way I program cancels in my game is not the correct way, but given how my game... given how the original source material of my game plays, I decided to keep it. So, actually, I can demonstrate what I mean. That's the wrong place, and someone is at my door, excuse me. And I'm back. Sorry about that. Don't live alone. Family. Anyway. Yes, cancels are important. I mean, the original cancel system from Street Fighter 2, while it was an accident, it produced a very important combo system for the game and the franchise in particular, and it just followed throughout the series. So, what I mean about how I programmed it wrong in my game, I can actually demonstrate in here, and maybe you'll see it in the when I do the demo of my game in about 10 minutes. So, Dungeon Fighter Online has a cancel system, which I think it just said, yeah, here we go. Basic attack cancelable skill. So, if I do any type of basic attack, I can, and that is me picking up my controller. If I do any basic attack, I can cancel into a skill. That was not me canceling into a skill, that is my item activating. So if you look carefully, my character produces a white shadow. That means I've done a cancel. So, basic attack, basic attack, basic attack, basic attack, basic attack into skill, and then my item. That's annoying. Just take that off. Basic attack into skill. So in DFO, you can actually do your cancels without actually hit confirming, like in fighting games. So Ryu can't really do light punch into Shoryuken unless he hit confirms with his light punch, and then he can do his Shoryuken, whether it be block or hit confirm. The way I programmed it was exactly the same way in DFO. You don't need to hit confirm and you can still do your cancels, but your timing is going to be really difficult. So here's another one of my skills. I can do that through my basic attack. Just like that. I allowed that to happen in DFO, in my fighting game, because it's allowed in DFO. I'm trying to draw as much inspiration from the source material as I can and put it into my game. One of the biggest problems, though, in DFO, there's no actual blocking. So in my fighting game, I do have blocking. It's stupid to... I can't think of any fighting game that doesn't have a block now that I think about it. And if it does, it's probably not good. But there has to be some kind of defense mechanic. So I'll just summon a punching bag, because that's here. And my items. Okay. So obviously I'm not hitting my the punching bag, and I can still cancel into the skill. And same thing goes as if I'm hitting it. Nothing changes. So the way I've done that in 2D Fighter Maker, I actually did a bunch of command options in between each frame for my cancels. So only certain skills can cancel from certain... only certain skills can cancel from the basic attack. I'm sure Ryu can do that in Alpha, but don't quote me on it. Oh, I'm totally quoting you on that. It's your fault if you're wrong. No, I'm joking. I actually forgot about Alpha. Give me a second. Processing. Loading. Processing. Loading. Processing. Loading. Actually, I can't remember. Oh, look! Kisuke's here. Hi! Wow, that sounded really... Anyway. Maybe Kisuke knows. Kisuke, do you know if Ryu can light punch? He doesn't connect with his light punch, neither block or hit confirm. So he does light punch, and then he does Shoryuken. Will that actually cancel in Alpha? Or is it going to be a light punch complete animation, and then Shoryuken? Because from my recollection, Ryu has to either hit confirm or hit on block in order to cancel into Shoryuken in pretty much all games. Unless Alpha has a different cancel system that I don't remember. Which I actually do not remember. I honestly cannot remember. You think so too? Hmm. Well, regardless, yes, cancels, I believe, are a little bit more complicated than they led on to be in 2DFM, so I'm not going to cover that. So, it's just basically, I'll show you just how to get a game up and running. I'm going to be making like one basic attack, then one special move, and then one super move. The thing is, a lot of people don't realize this, but they're all the same thing. A basic attack like a light punch is the same thing as a Hadouken, is the same thing as a super move. They have different properties, but in the end, in the core, they're all an attack. And if you think of it that way, programming in 2DFM becomes a lot simpler. Not a lot of people realize this. And I'm not saying that by no means are they saying they're stupid or anything. No. It's just sometimes people get so caught up in advanced things that they forget that, you know, the basics. So that's why I decided to do a basics video. And you know what? The same thing can actually... Well, wait a minute. Yeah, I can say that the same thing can go for defensive moves. Defensive moves can all be considered the same. Kind of. Because in actuality, if you do a teching skill, for example, you fall on the ground and then your character techs to the left, he rolls to the left. In actuality, that's quote-unquote an attack. But you would program it with no attack frame, so it's not really an attack. You'll see what I mean if I get to that. But anyway, so yeah, this is the game that I drew information. inspiration from, and I played it for many years to the point where I am incredibly geared, and you can totally just make fun of me saying I'm super Asian, because yes, I absolutely am Asian, and I had no life, and I played this game for way too many years of my life. I think I'm going to be brought to tears if I ever try to make Third Strike in 2DFM. It's not impossible. A while back, when I was first new to 2DFM, I don't remember if it was Acid or Kisuke, but they demonstrated that it was possible to do teching in 2DFM. And when I saw that, I thought, screw Mugen. If they can do that in 2DFM, I can do anything in 2DFM. So that's why I'm on the 2DFM bandwagon. It's a lot more power. It's burping. Excuse me. That is so professional of me. Burping right into the mic. Anyway, 2DFM is a very powerful program that it lets on. If you put it into the scope of things, by no means is it as powerful as Mugen. But if you look into the scope of things, it can definitely stand next to Mugen, if that makes any sense. It was probably Acid. He's usually the one that comes up with cool stuff. I just find odd things nobody asked for. You know, I wouldn't say Onslaught was an odd thing that nobody asked for. I think that was a pretty damn cool thing that you showed me. And the fact that you got Onslaught working in itself was actually pretty damn cool. I'm still attacking in DFO, even though I'm not attacking. That is how overpowered I am. And yet I am considered weak in this game. Anyway. Mugen is daunting. I don't remember when I first tried it, but it was definitely a while back. I'm looking at chat and I'm trying to tell stories. I remember when I downloaded Mugen, I had to download like 3 different programs just for it to start, and I couldn't even successfully create a character. But I can see my timer is about to run out in a minute, so I am going to take that minute to log off of DFO because... Kisuke, you weren't here earlier, but I got my ass handed to me by the computer earlier, and I don't think I'm going to be able to complete my daily mission for today, so I'm just going to quit. Alright. Gotta unplug my controller. And let's start. Let's plug in 2DFM. Oops, nope, I need that. Turn that on. No. Thank you. Where is it? There it is. Okay. Familiar territory. And let me just put away my controller. See, but I like my taskbar green and full, and there's my timer. Okay. Press start. Alright, let's demo my game. Oh, and you'll get to see the Versus stage in action that I made. I know there was a guy who asked about that in 2DFM. I wonder if he's going to show up. But, alright. Press OK. That is not the right thing. Where is it? Oh, here it is. This needs to turn on. Please? Please? Alright, so the disadvantages of running through a USB. Please open. Thank you. I don't need that open, so let's close that. All right. Let's try this again. So, this program that I'm so insistent of getting open is a workaround I presented in the old site. And one of the weird, stupid things about Windows 10 is 2DFM is so old that it cannot do full screen properly. If you do full screen in 2DFM natively, you're gonna get a stupid border around the window. This program that I'm using, as you can see, I am full screen and I don't have a border. Will I be demoing stage creation too? Can't have a fighting game without a stage, so yes, absolutely. I will be making just a basic stage, probably going to be the stage you see in front of you, because it is two things only. Is he going to get it? Aw. So, the stage you see in front of you is a foreground and a background. That's all it is. Obviously, though, since I'm not the artist, I didn't make it look this extravagant, but... Oh, did she win? Yeah, she won.
Are you ready? Ready and waiting. Fight!
Getting them to fit properly, that's tricky. That is an understatement. But I pretty much just decided I went with 100-100 just to make things simple, and that's what I'm gonna do in this demo as well. Well, that's cheap. Light punch into grab, but okay. Didn't realize I programmed it. If you haven't guessed, the girl on the right is a grappler.
Are you ready? Ready and waiting. Fight!
Also, I will admit I haven't done 2DFM in a while, and that's, again, my god, I am so stuttery today. Let me try that again. Okay. No, no, I'm not nervous, I just stutter a lot. I haven't done 2DFM in a while, so I may have a trip or a hiccup on the creation process, but since I'm not doing anything too complicated, I'm pretty sure I can muddy through a basics video. And here is my character select screen, which is going to be renovated because, my god, I am tired of it. But when stage select was asked, like I said before, I asked how to do a stage select, and I believe it was Acid, yes, it was Acid, who suggested the roulette wheel, and I thought that would be the easiest way to tackle it, so I did it this way. So, oh yeah, I'm running through USB, so I can't... All these characters are going to load really slow real quickly. Once I cycle once... Uh-oh. I think I crashed. Yep, I think I crashed. Interesting. Yep, I crashed. So let's just end that. Best. Let's pick my character and my brother's character in the same versus stage. What game does this take inspiration from as I'm getting alpha? Fuck. This game... It's inspired by a lot of things, to be honest. I wouldn't say it's alpha.
Ready and waiting.
I took inspiration from anime fighters, from Street Fighter. A lot. So it was I don't know. At first I made things like too anime fighter, then I made things not enough anime fighter, and then I was like, me and my brother are big Street Fighter fans. We've been playing Street Fighter since 2. Then I went to high school, and then I met a couple friends who were into anime fighters. My character is being pwned, and eventually when I started on this, I kind of just made it a mishmash, and then all of a sudden a lot of balance issues happened. And I'm talking about, like, I would set, let's say, my character against everybody, and he would just body everybody for God knows what reason.
Ready and waiting.
So my friend suggested that I just make everybody play how they do a DFO. And DFO's fighting system is a lot more intricate than people give it a chance to. Mostly I can say that DFO's fighting system is just very overwhelming to a lot of beginners. There's a lot of technical things that actually translate to fighting games. So, inspiration, I can just say everything. If there's something in a fighting game I like, I try to figure out how to add it. I mean, if you look at the demo currently playing, one thing that's very basic is, you see where the combo counter is? It's appearing at the perspective character. So Soshin Day does a combo, he gets a 5-hit combo counter on his left side, and only him, whether he's on the left side or the right side of the screen. 2DFM does not do that naturally. Every fighting game in the world that I can play, or I'm sorry, every fighting game in the world that I have played has that combo counter. So, just something like that is a small inspiration. My god, why is my character getting bodied? Go Higashi sprites? No, everything you see currently in front of you is from DFO. I took the time to, I literally took the time to combine all the sprites for every single one of these characters. So, like, my character, Soshin Day. He has... His body sprite is 150-something sprites. And then there's hat, hair, face, neck, coat, belt, pants, shoes. And then each one of those has 150-some sprites. And then I have to combine it with the corresponding sprite. Oh, and weapon. I forgot about weapon. Each one of those correspond to a sprite, and then I have to find them, and then I have to combine them. And then I need to layer each one of them, depending if the weapon's in the front or in the back. It took me a lot of time to do that. But everything, all my resources here are from DFO. This guy is currently under construction, and he was my last, I think like last month. I worked on him and I just forgot to go back. He cannot be played right now, not in this room. So let's pick her. Oh wait, demonstration on my stage select. Let's go to... So, here are all the stages. As you can see, there's a small title on each one. And if I pick... This is where we were, Ghent Outskirts. So, if my stage select didn't work, then it should go back to this stage. But since I know it works, I will pick this stage, and we'll have the Dark Elf chick versus the Telekinetic chick. And my game crashes again. That's interesting. I have never had this many crashes before. So apparently, maybe I'm talking too much. Maybe that's the problem? Should I just shut up more? You know what? I didn't think about that. I never ran my borderless program at the same time as OBS.
Ready and waiting.
Fight!
Are the stages also from the MMO you got the sprites from? Yes, they are. Yes, they are. The stages I didn't. Again, I just borrowed resources, but
Telekinetic shockwave!
they were also tiles. So I had to form the wall for this stage. I had to form the wall, and I had to form the ground. The sandbags you see on the wall were part of the wall sprite. Oh, come on, Kira. You could have done that air combo. Why do you suck?
Ready and waiting.
Fight!
It's actually interesting rewatching my game because I actually remember when I first got everything running. It was just sprites with a basic health bar and just a basic health bar. No, not even. I just got the sprites in and they can do a single attack. And there was background music.
Telekinetic shockwave!
And to see it in this stage, it's actually pretty satisfying. I mean, I'm still not satisfied with it overall, but, you know.
KO!
Wow, that match sucked. That was very one-sided. I was not expecting that. Okay. It might be the borderless program. So let's turn that off, and I will do the crappy Windows 10 full screen. I'm not going to like it, but whatever. Let's just do that. So does that MMO also have super jumps, or is that a personal touch? It does not. Well, it does have a super jump per se. There's a skill that allows you to jump higher. I don't really think that's a super jump because a super jump is something you can do at a whim, and you can do it whenever.
Fight!
But believe it or not, these guys are not super jumping. The inspiration when you were asking, like, where did I draw inspiration? Well, these two characters on screen actually cannot attack multiple times in the air. Unlike the elf girl who you saw earlier, she can. I only gave that to certain people. So these two are more Street Fighter-ish than anything. But my point about bringing that up. Since no one actually has a super jump, I actually found a timing on air attacks where how many times can they attack before they return to neutral? Okay, there is a problem with 2D Fighter Maker. This is interesting. This is very interesting. Ooh, wait, no, you're broken. I can't use you. Let's pick a regular stage. Maybe it's my versus stage. But anyway, I figured out a timing to have air attacks return to neutral, so that way people can do multiple air jumps. I know in most anime fighters it's like,
Do you even have what it takes?
do an uppercut, jump cancel, and then do an air combo. And usually to do that you need to do a super jump. I didn't do that in my game. Well, he did that super, so I guess it's not an object overload. You know, now that I think about it, I think I'm still running 2DFM on Windows 10. I might need to go to Windows XP support package or something.
Are you ready? Ready and waiting.
Fight!
The other interesting thing about my game currently is I'm going to be redoing a lot of the characters. Don't hit him. It's counterattack. Don't hit him. It's a counterattack. Oh, okay. Come on, Bwanga, you have the life advantage. You can do this. There we go.
It ends here.
All right. Let's do... Stage select doesn't work, so let's do... Wongo versus Ferris. They should go to the same stage. There we go, it loaded. I set up a passive super armor in my Hulk character to mimic his Versus series traits. Still testing it, but it works. It was working last time I messed with it.
Are you ready?
Super armor was a little tricky for me, the way I wanted it to work.
Fight!
Everybody has a super armor skill, kind of like everybody has a focus attack in Street Fighter 4, my game. He's teleporting though, and he teleported the wrong way. But anyway, I made super armor absorb just one attack and then it disappears. The problem was having it when it was active. Whenever you tried to grab an opponent in super armor, you should be able to grab them, but instead, because of the super armor box being out, it would be considered an attack and it would just negate the grab, and then nothing happened. I mean, I got past it, I reprogrammed it, it works now, but at the time, that was a headache to deal with. That was an interesting combo. Oh, is he gonna run it back? Yep, he ran it back.
It ends here. Are you ready? Ready and waiting.
Fight!
Ugh, coffee is cold now. I like iced coffee, but hot coffee turning cold does not taste right to me.
Brace yourself.
So, if you observe closely, sometimes when characters are far away, you'll see them just do a random combo. That's what I was talking about earlier, where in DFO you can cancel from your basic attack whether you hit confirm or not. I allowed that to carry over to my fighting game. They can do a combo freely, even if they're far away. It's just gonna be stupid hard. What is that Asura warp looking mean? It's a teleport. So in the game, this dude can teleport, disappear from the map for a second, reappear behind or in front of your character, and zip to your character, shoulder charge him, and then uppercut him. Just like in my fighting game. Actually, it has nothing to do with your question, but I'm going to, for the stream and for the video later, I'm going to demonstrate a stage I made that it just demonstrates the power that you can do. That is the wrong character. This just shows the, you can do a lot in this. And this is why I say be hush hush, because, you know, I know a lot of people are using Ryu sprites and Iron Man sprites, yada yada. The stage you're about to see should look familiar if you're familiar with a certain anime fighter. But it is to demonstrate that you can do a lot in 2DFM. And this is one of the I'm very proud of this stage. Very proud. I think this was like one full day's worth of work, but you'll get the point.
Ready and waiting.
Fight!
So the floor is one object, that giant light bulb is one object, that lighthouse on the right is one object, the rain is one object, the rain drops as an object. And the floor was actually outputted as RGB, so I had to get it to that color. If you look carefully, that tower is not moving it's not moving consistently with the floor. It has a little bit of a perspective move, like as if it's traveling left and right a little slower than the actual background. And the light bulb is moving up and down the same way. But yeah, this you can do a lot with 2DFM. You really can. Obviously, I'm not going to be making a stage this advanced tonight's tutorial, but I did want to show, hey, it is possible to do stuff like this. And I'm wondering why my characters are going to the left. They don't want to go to the right side of the stage. They're getting there. Come on. There we go. Now they're on the right side. Oh, I thought I put more stuff there. You idiot. Yes, Kisuke, I agree. It's such a simple thing, and yet it really makes the game pop a lot more. And I mean a lot more. I mean, just look at that stage. Like I said, there was a lot of work, but when you look at the components I used, there wasn't a lot of components. Let's do the monk versus this guy. Shadow Knight Seong. He's a... Originally, I created him to be a puppet character, so he can summon ghosts and then he can make the ghosts attack at will. And that's gonna change. I take it a bit too far sometimes. All I imagine is like the floor is moving one direction and towers are moving to the right, even though no one's moving. Just everything is moving on its own for no apparent reason. That's all I'm imagining. Ooh, that was a good teleport. Ooh, I just realized. So, I lied to you a little bit. Not everything is from DFO. There are... I found a 2DFM resource package a while back. I don't remember where I found it, so don't ask me for a link. But it was a free package, and I downloaded that. I used some resources from there, like arrows. And then, whenever you see a Super Flash, that yellow glow, I actually got that from RPG Maker XP. which is another engine I use. Stuff. Oh, it's over. Wow, that sucked. But, I mean, I'll say 99.9% of my resources are from DFO itself. Who haven't I done yet? Just a Gonzo. He's currently under construction. I can't use him. Let's do Michelle versus the Grappler girl, Sam J. The Marvel superheroes Iron Man Stage 4 and the sum of the background are made of 1 pixel layers that all scroll at different speeds. I'm not really sure what to say about that. That's interesting.
Fight.
That is very interesting. Oh, good combo. She teleported, baited. Earlier I mentioned I couldn't really freeze things, so how would a character like Dio from JoJo work? I can't read. Work considering one of his super stop time allowing him to do combos in frozen time. You can freeze using time stop, absolutely. But JoJo, or I'm sorry, not Dio can hit you and continue hitting you while you're frozen. If we use PS time stop in 2DFM, they're going to resume moving after the time stop. So, I mean, now that I've said that, Kisuke could probably figure out in a matter of seconds how to really do it. But, the time stop is beyond the scope of this course as well. Or, what am I, a teacher now? A time stop is beyond the scope of this basics video as well, but that would be something I would be willing to cover as well. I didn't feel like dealing with a proper time stop, so Michelle has a time stop in my game, but I was too green at the time to figure out how to make a proper time stop, so her time stop is an attack that does 1 damage, and it will freeze you for 30 no, I'm not 30 seconds. That is way too overpowered. 3 seconds. So, we have time for one more match. Toshin Day versus Rake. And yes, like a lawn rake. Where was I? Oh yeah. Hold up.
Ready and waiting.
Fight.
Sorry about that. That was my Alexa telling me to take my heart medication. Which I am going to do. And I will... Oh. It was advanced, I just wanted to pull you up on it for a bit more info. Oh, okay. My god, yes, I know. Alright, that's gonna run. Let me take my heart medication. And mute myself for a second. Alright, and I'm done. I'll be honest, that time stop like Dio, I haven't... After I got a time stop that I was satisfied in my game, I kind of just gave up on pursuing it, but since I'm more of an advanced user at this point, I definitely go back and revisit it. So, yeah, I think it's possible. From what I'm thinking right now. Oh, wait. IE a freeze, but plenty image. Well, you can do a lot with objects in FM, especially when you consider that what's happening was not to be what's happening. Yes, absolutely. I posted a video on the original site about Street Fighter V, you know, that game that's still in alpha, that shows the camera angles of the ultras, not the ultra, the critical arts that are happening. And hold on. No, I guess I have to do it that way. You wish to save your current game? No. Enter new game. This game. Anyway, yeah, absolutely, you don't have to do what's happening on the screen for it to actually happen. Actually, you know what? Because Kisuke brought it up, now I actually need to demonstrate this. Where'd it go? Desktop USB drive. There we go. And I need to do... Where is it? Where is it? Set that to 3. Test play. So, Wonga has a command grab super where he throws the opponent up in the air, jumps up after them, grabs them by the foot, and then descends quickly downwards and slams them on the ground.
Do you even have what it takes?
The way it's programmed, the way I did, they're not actually moving.
Fight!
But with some clever trickery, I made it look like they're jumping there. And I think there's the input.
Try to stop me.
Yeah, they're not moving. They are standing still. What actually is happening on the screen does not actually need to happen in the program. And that in itself just proves that point. So, anyway, open game, yes, open. Please, USB. Not responding. All right, technical difficulties. It's the concept that birthed Onslaught. Oh, yeah, I remember your story about you eating breakfast and having a brainchild. Right, let's just end that. Again. File, open. Up, up, up. Some more. Here. Nope, not in there. Please? Oh, okay. Test game. Alright, let's get this going. Sure, don't care. Why, is it on my desktop? It's somewhere. I'll just make a new one, just so we can get this started. Okay. So, usually when you're a new person, you would see all this stuff and you had no idea where to start. Great. Awesome. Okay, disclaimer. What I'm about to do is absolute bare bones basic, and again, I am a strong believer of strong foundations equal strong finish. So, I will be teaching the bare bones basics of everything. And I really mean bare bones. The only thing I can't seem to remember right now, I'm having a brain fart, is the character selection screen, so I apologize for that one. But starting off at this tab, I think these are pretty self-explanatory. Use story mode, activate story mode. Use versus mode, it uses versus mode. Uses versus team mode, it's 2 on 2. Usually, you can do something stupid on story mode and then have like 8 on 8. It's kind of funny. I'm not going to do that here. The editor won't read the game file. Oh. Hit junctions first then? Absolutely not. My editor may look different from yours, only because I don't remember where I got mine. But anyway, the editor won't read the game file. That's for protection. A lot of people don't like it when their games get revealed or reversed engineered. I can respect that, and you should respect that too. I know there was a guy who kept begging us in the site that it's okay to reverse engineer something as long as it's for educational purposes, but we were not comfortable with helping him. So, just respect the creator's wishes. If they do not want you going through their files, then do not go through their files. If you do not bring us with you. That's all we ask. Numbers are shown on life. Pretty self-explanatory. Cursor stays until the game starts. Again, self-explanatory. The demo select. This works in conjunction with the demos file, which we will get there. Demos are basically wherever you just put cutscenes, movies, whatever. There are certain tricks that I use in my game that are demos that are not demos. Like, I have a full opening in my game, which I should have demonstrated, which I forgot. But that's basically all that a demo is. It's just weird name for game screens, yeah. Movies are not actually movies in 2DFM. They are nothing more than pictures. Which, in 2DFM, if you think of everything as you are making a picture move, again, concepts become a lot easier. Because that's all you're really doing. How do I get a picture to move from point A to point B? Or how do I get picture A to switch to picture B? Basics. Think of everything as simple as possible. So, right now, I don't have any demos created. So, I'm just telling you that this is where you would select your demos. You would create your demos here, then you go to Game Systems and pick it. Your stiff time, I call it hit decay. Basically, when Ryu hits someone, time slows down for a bit, so you have options. You have more reaction time to do your combo. So when something hits, there's 30 frames that it will stop. If someone guards, there are 30 frames. It will stop. If offset is a funny one, I like using it for flashes. If you're familiar with Guilty Gear, Blaze Blue, any anime fighter, when two attacks clash, like to Ragna and Jin, their swords clash, it's gonna cause a stop in time. That's what this offset is, but you have to click offset in order for that to work. And Kisuke, you actually just brought up a good point. He said 30 game ticks is roughly 1/3 of a second. I call them frames, game ticks, whatever you want to call them. He is absolutely right. 100 frames is roughly 1 second, and that is a very useful thing to know. Moving on, we got our basic script. This is where you would put in your hit combo numbers, hit, offset hit mark. This stuff I want to say is just, I'll probably put something in here just to get it going, but this stuff is actually not required, despite, being in the game system script. Your game will run perfectly fine without any of these, as I will demonstrate. Hit junctions. You will get very intimate with this tab. You will be touching it a lot. You will be going in it a lot. And I will stop with the dirty jokes. This is where you're going to set all the hit junctions for your characters. So these are default ones. I'm just going to use the default ones for tonight. weak stand, weak crouching, weak sky. So their hit animation when they get hit while standing, hit animation while crouching, hit animation while in the sky, etc., etc. I don't know what it's translated for you guys, but this check mark for doing, it was a nifty little thing I didn't know about before, but let's say you do a low sweep, but they guarded high, meaning the sweep should connect. If you put the reaction as block on crouching, they're going to block. So you actually put the attack, but if you just put the attack, the animation will play, but it will consider them blocking. So you click doing, and once you put that attack reaction, it will read it as a low. It's very helpful. Pro tip, anything you add to that tab prior to creating the character will be auto-loaded in the character. Anything created after you make the character file, you have to add the character manually. That is absolutely true. I decided for my own sanity, I did everything manually. It took me a long time, but hey, I got there. Common images. Not traditionally. From the resources I've read, it's made for throws. Or just some kind of animations similar to throws. At least that's what I read in Mag Launcher's tutorial book, which actually I don't know if it's in the Discord. If it is not, that should definitely be linked there. Yes, it is what the RC uses. I personally don't like it, so I don't use it. Character selection, picture, we're going to skip that. Okay. So, characters, nothing, because I didn't create a character. Okay, cool, it is there. So, those of you watching, and people who will be watching this on YouTube, I highly recommend reading that tutorial. It's very useful. I learned a lot from it, and it is definitely invaluable. I don't know how. I don't speak English. I speak English, no speaky. It is a very useful resource. Stages, pretty simple. This BGM thing, useless. Absolutely useless. I don't know why it's in here. I could not. No one in this whole world got this thing to work. Not even every game I've seen. This BGM thing just does not work. So your music is going to come through the script area. And then demos, same thing, basic script. All right, let's create a character. I'm actually going to add a character from file only so I have a reference because, like I said, I'm a little rusty. Who works? Soshin Day works. Let's pick Soshin Day. Let's pick me because I'm an egotist. Okay, add character. Let's call this one... Forget it. Character 1. I'm very uncreative with names. When I have my first child, he will be named Child 1. The sex means absolutely nothing. Doesn't change anything. I can make Soshin Day a female and it's not going to change him. Age, make him as old as you want. Not going to do a thing. Neutral guard, sky guard, versus mode. Okay. Versus mode obviously access them on versus mode. Sky guard gives them an air guard. Neutral guard, correct me if I'm wrong, Kisuke, but I believe that allows them to guard in neutral. Which, just stand there and they'll guard. Okay. Life gauge max, I believe that is their HP. Yep, that is their HP. 2DFM does not support anything over 1000. That's just how it is. If you're a fan of Blaze Blue, you'll notice that HP is like in 10k or whatever. Again, simplicity. I had a friend who was saying that there are attacks that do 200, and then there are attacks that do 1000. Well, you can't do 2,000. You can do 200 damage in 2DFM, but if the life cap is 1,000 in 2DFM and you're doing 200 damage, you effectively took 1/5 of their HP. So, try to think of things in a perspective of, you know, of what the game is capable. As you can see, Soshin Day only has 190 HP. So, just take things into perspective. Special stock max, you know, it's how high can their stock go? You can set it to up to as high as 9. You can set it to 0 if you're a person who... Sorry, Kisuke wrote a paragraph, and I'm sometimes a slow reader. Anyway. If you're into a game that doesn't have any supers whatsoever, like Street Fighter 2, leave it at 0. But other than that, at your own discrepancy, and this works the same way. You had a max of 1,000, max a minimum of 1. If this is at 0, you're at 0. I like to leave it at 100 just for percentage. Starting stock, pick the start of the match. Special gauge increase. So if Ryu gets hit, he gains a certain amount. If he connects with a hit, he gains a certain amount. Same thing here. What's funny is you can put it into negative, which is if you want to make like troll your friends, they hit you and then they're losing stock. It'd be pretty funny. I got sidetracked. If you want to use more than 1,000 HP, you would have to make your own damage system using variables where the attacks take away that variable instead of doing HP damage. Absolutely correct, but that is a headache. We're not doing that. Guard button. Think Soul Calibur. You just set a guard button, and your character will be able to hold guard as long as they want. Hyper new challengers, yeah, okay, they do have supers. Let me reiterate the Street Fighter comment then. Original Street Fighter 2 with only 8 characters. Alright. I'm gonna need to make a follow-up for this right section. I know I made a tutorial on this. It's written down somewhere. But I'll get back to what this stuff on the right means. Kisuke, if you want to go through which each one of those in the chat is, go right ahead, be my guest. But obviously I did know what it meant at some point since I filled it out. Oh yeah, and when you have guard button activated, your character can actually face left and right. It's kind of weird. Alright. So, everything in black, bold, are neutral states. If you think of everything that way, you have an active state and you have a neutral state. Anything that's not in bold is an active state. And that's exactly how 2DFM will read it. So, keep that in mind when programming. Just because you program a falling skill, if you don't actually have it to this falling skill, let's say you just loop it to itself and it's some unbolded skill, your character will not technically be falling. He will look like he's falling, but the 2DFM will not see him as falling. So, we're going to completely botch up the initial. You have 3 buttons down here, skill list, which activates the skill menu on the right, animation, so you can see animations, palettes, so you can do palettes. I'm sorry, not palettes. Not palettes, do palettes. What's it called? Alternate colors. And BMP. 2DFM only uses BMP. So if you find anything, if you try to use anything that is not a BMP, will just flat out not work. So I use about 5 different programs to actually use 2DFM. One is to make PNG sprites. Then I bring it to another program to make a sprite sheet. Then after I make the sprite sheet, I resize it while still in PNG, And then after I resize it, I then turn into a BMP. So I have the quote-unquote highest I can get. So for today, we will just use sprites resized, and let's make a Soshin Day clone. Yes, I know it's a bitmap, but I'm gonna keep saying BMP. No, computer, why? There we go. Large icons. Let's see what I'm picking. Where are my sprite sheets? Oh, there they are. So we need a standing neutral stance. Here it is. Okay. So shout out to IR FanView. Okay, there's a shout out. I created this sprite sheet after I made the actual sprite. So this is pretty simple. If you have a sprite sheet, the one solid color that's majority will be transparent. So in my case, it's green. All you gotta do is drag and drop your window. And since this is the very first image, it doesn't really matter which one I pick. But the red one is going to insert the image before the image. Green one is going to insert it after. And copy will replace the current image. I highly encourage you to be organized with your process. Soshin Day is obviously majority red and black. So first let me upload this image. Okay, he's there. Let's look at the palette. Not a lot. Okay, well it is a lot, but it doesn't fill up all 256 squares. If we go into Soshin Day from my fighting game, he has a lot. Because I kept uploading things and I kept uploading things and I didn't replace things. Like, somewhere in here, I think it's the very first image. Yeah, look, there, mini Soshin Day. He's tiny. That's because I didn't replace the original image when I resized everything. So, don't do that. If you do that, then you're going to have an ass load of colors, and then when you do your color reworks, you're going to need to guess where everything is, and it's just not a fun time. So be organized with your approach. Okay, so we have a standing image. Let's center him a bit, because that's bothering me. I'm a little anal about that. Now, 2DFM has a loop function, right here. Go to. And okay, now it's looping this image. The important thing to understand about neutral skills is that they auto loop. So this skill is not necessary. So we're going to leave the standing, for the sake of time, as one animation. So let's add a forward skill. A walking forward skill, I should say. Which doesn't seem to... Why is this auto... icons? Walking forward. Here we go. So... There it is. I'm going to do this Super Mario style, and he's going to have, like, 4 frames. Just to demonstrate the point again. So we'll do 1. Oh, kind of missed the sprite a little bit. 2. 3. 4. And... well, you know what? I'll put in the whole walk animation. Only 8 frames anyway. Oop. All right. So now we have Soshin Day walking. Really fast, but he's walking. Well, he has an animation to walk. So, the next thing is to add a movement. He is walking forward, so... Whoa, that's fast. You can do this in decimals, make him walk like insignificantly slow, which you'll never see anything. Make him super fast. Whatever. It's a walk. So, whoa, that's really fast. I don't know, 3? Yeah, 3 works. So, now he has a forward walk animation. Backwards, I usually just reverse the forward just to make things nice and simple. And again, that's what I'm doing here just to save a little bit on time. So he's walking backwards, so we'll give him a negative speed. Oops. Now he's walking backwards. Okay. Doing great. Now we have a jump up. This is jump animation in here. Not. So jump is a little bit weird in 2DFM. It's works with negative values. Don't know why. Ooh, we have a jump up and a jump down sprite. I was fancy at one point. So we'll go new. And then new. Add a movement. This is just neutral jump up. So you're gonna go up. Well, he's going up all right. Oh, I should probably point this out because, again, I've been doing this for a while, so it's natural for me. To increase numbers, you left click. To decrease numbers, you right click. And in order to skip numbers like I'm at 10, I don't need to keep right clicking until I'm at 100. I can go to the 100s place and just left click, and then there a 1 will appear. If I'm at 100 and I want to go 10, just right click on the 100s place and it'll disappear. So, just for people who didn't know that, there you go. Okay, so Soshin Day is now officially jumping up. Now, the problem with this though is he will infinitely jump up. So we need to give him gravity. I've seen some people, to compensate this, they do a second movement and then they add it, so then they go up and down, which works, but no, it's not ideal. So what gravity did I set just so I don't need to? 0.4? Cool. We'll use 0.4 since I know that works. Yeah, they did plot it differently in any cartoon. Can't speak again. They did plot it differently than a normal Cartesian coordinate, and I have no idea why. Alright, so Soshin Day now has a jump up, gravity, and now we need to make sure he can land. So... Oh, wait. Nope, I'm ahead of myself. So we get this weird thing where he's jumping up, and then he kind of jumps down, but if you look carefully, he never actually makes it down. I can't pause this fast enough. Well, let's do this. Let's increase this. See, he's not actually making it down. Because by the time this frame ends, the 15 frames for the falling, it's ending the skill. So, simple way to do this, and it's how I've done it, it works, is just to loop the last animation. There you go. Now he is successfully hitting the ground. Fun fact, if you didn't know this, you can still interact with the window behind. And I like that. There you go. So you can actually change wait frames while that animation window is open. See, now I've set it to 0. Now it's infinitely one thing. But 40 seems to suffice, so we'll go with 40. This honestly doesn't matter because I'm looping that. Now, for me, for simplicity, I add the landing frame with the jump. You don't have to do that. Might be better if you don't. But, as I said, for me, I went with simplicity. Let's make the landing frame this thing. Looks like he's trying to cop a feel or something. Green. Okay. Because I'm anal, I'm going to line that up. Not right. Not like that. Yeah, that's close enough. Okay, and then we need to... So, a little bit of programming here. I have made a quote-unquote code line, and from this point forward, I will be calling these code lines. It's not really 100% code, but it will, for now, we'll just call it code lines. I have made a code line to jump up and then to go down. As he falls, the last image is looping. That will infinitely loop until he lands. And then it'll loop again. When he jumps up, then he goes down. It's not going to actually detect landing. So we need to add a detection before anything. So we're going to right-click under Condition Fork, Detect Skill. This is your best friend. It will help you do a lot of things. So we're going to, in this case, we will use landing. And then we're going to pick our landing animation, which I'm going to make it 1 second just so you can see how it's working. So, we basically made an if statement. If this if this picture lands, go to this image. He is in the air, therefore he is not landing. Therefore, keep looping this image, and it will infinitely loop this image until he lands. So, let me make sure this didn't go wonky. He jumps up, he lands. There you go. Now we have a perfect jump up animation. Let's make this 15 frames because I'm evil and landing. Okay, maybe that's not too long. That's a little too. Okay, 10 frames, sure. So, cut and paste for jump, front jump, and back jump. We're just going to add a little bit of an X and Y, so that's not enough. A little more. That's a little too far. Let's go with 3. Back jump. 3. There we go. Falling. The infamous neutral skill that I keep talking about. That's it. That's all you need. That is literally all you need. Your falling is your air standing. So, if I really wanted to, I could actually, instead of looping within itself, the jump skills, I could redirect to falling. But because of how I did things, I'm doing things my way. So that's how I learned it. That's how I'm doing it. Mid-crouch. I need a reminder of what that is. Oh, standing to crouch. Okay. Why is it named differently? That's weird. Huh. I take it with this setup, you can block while standing, or no? Block while standing. Well, elaborate on your question. I'm gonna keep moving, and once I see your comment, and I'll answer it. DFO does not actually have any crouching animation, so I believe I just made this filler. Let's see, where's my crouch? No, no. Did I not? Oh, here it is. There's his crouch. Okay. So, new. He's floating because the tip of his sword is his actual bottom of his sprite. Yeah, that looks good. So we'll just copy this over. And now he's teabagging. Cool. Crouch animation. Add a crouch. Crouch advance and crouch retreat. Don't really need them, but all it is if you do down forward or down back, they'll move. Kind of like Tao Kaka from Blaze Blue. She can crawl. So if you want to use those, I don't use them. Stand up from crouch. That's the opposite of this. So, nope, that one. Copy and paste that. Okay. Turn, standing, turn, crouching. So, it happens almost a blink of an eye in Street Fighter 2, but it's not really Street Fighter. It's not really that much of a blink of an eye. There is turn animations in Street Fighter 2. Okay, once you have landed, once you have landed and are recovering from that, can you block? No. That is actually my point about certain things. Wait, I lied. Sorry. Yes and no. This jump animation that I just added, if you do it, hold on, now I'm having a memory fart. I believe no, because you're stuck in a landing animation. If you're in jump up, front jump, back jump, and you didn't do anything, you're technically in neutral, so you should be able to block. However, if you do an air attack and then your recovery is not neutral, then you're no longer neutral, and therefore you cannot block. I know that's a bug in Soshin Day's character, the actual programming. So we'll explore that if I have time. All right. Anyway, the turning skills you actually don't need. It's not going to break your game. Same thing with crouch advance and crouch retreat. As you can see in this file, they're empty. I don't use them, and he hasn't crashed once for that. Okay. So, start is the round start animation, victory animation, loss animation, draw, and draw animation. Loss is the the defeat animation. So, when they take their last hit, they will automatically divert to this skill. And I am being texted by someone. Is it important? It's not important. Okay. So, I remember someone asking in Discord, can you animate different loss animations, yada yada? Yes, you can. So, on Soshin Day, it has so far 5 loss animations because that's all I needed so far. He has the default one. He has a downstate loss, an upside down loss, like if someone grabs him and slams him on his head. A flipped upside down loss. Someone actually grabs him and then flips him upside down and slams him on their head. Because, slamming them on the head forward and backwards are 2 totally different things. And that's not a joke. I'm dead serious about that. And a standing loss, which, while that would seem like 2 different things, for my default loss animation, I actually give them a gravity so they actually fall to the ground first. Because there are sometimes bugs where they will be hit in the air, but they don't actually land, and then they'll be floating. So I gave them a gravity. If they're on the ground, though, I make sure that this original loss, the text, are on the ground through, I believe, here it is, standing. and it will default to stand loss. So they don't go into an air animation first and then fall. This is just, they get hit, they fall. There you go. That's all it is. So, let's do this nice and dirty. Nice and simple. Wow. I swear my mind is not in the gutter today. I swear to you. Alright. Here is his start animation. Okay. Wait, I think I ordered that the wrong way. Yes, I did. I did that backwards. Could you not use a DB to check for standing, and when false, divert the falling animation? I've had issues by doing one or the other. If you look here on my loss skill, I have variables and skill divergence. So, oh, no, I have basic divergence and skill, like, oh yeah, that's right. There were too many, I animated too many skills and grabs that can actually, that required different states, but some were just not an actual state given. So some were, if they were standing, that's easy. If they're in the air, that's easy. But then if it's a grab, they're neither standing or in the air. They're stuck in an animation. So in this case, I used a variable, which I'll cover variables today as well, or tonight. So when I used one or the other, it didn't really work, and I think I just I read that incorrectly. Could you not use the? No, I didn't. Okay. Let me just clean this part up, because I definitely. Okay. So now we'll have a little pose. Initial. 7 frames seems to be a nice transition. So there you go. There's his start animation. Let's center him a little bit better. I don't know, right about there, I guess. Oh, right on the money. Awesome. Because I'm good like that. Yeah. Look at that smooth animation. Anyway. Victory. Let's make him do... I don't know. I mean, at this point, we're just adding animations. This isn't anything special. Well, I see the down state, so let's add that. He loses. We'll add that. Then we'll add that. Bam, that's done. Victory animation, let's make it to... I don't like any of these. Let's make it... What's this? Oh, that works, yeah. Let's do that. Victory animation will be this. He raises his hand in victory. The most generic victory you can have. Go. So, just line that up. And obviously, these are one of those things that you should definitely take more time to do this. These little details where I'm lining them up, it's not necessary. It's not. But the more you add, the more time you take to make things look nicer, the better your game will look. And I just realized that I forgot something important. Okay, first off, I'm going to finish this off. Draw, he puts out his hand in frustration. Stance, draw. So, stance, draw. Okay? And it's just going to infinitely loop. So, what did I forget that was so important? That was a question for the stream. Even though it's only 2 of you. I know other people on YouTube were probably watching. YouTube viewers, pause the video right now and guess what I forgot that is so important. Da 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 da. No, I'm not really gonna. Yep. Wouldn't it be a basics tutorial if I didn't screw something up? Absolutely, he is not solid. So, let's add a defense frame. I'm sorry, 16-bit shooter. Keyskate beat you to the punch. You don't get a cookie. So, there's 2 ways you can do this. You can drag and drop, or you can go over here and size it to and move it however you want. I prefer drag and drop, it's just easier for me. Striking hitbox is not the actual striking hitbox. This just makes them solid. They will run into each other, but they cannot get hit. So, if you ever want like an invincibility frame, like the startup of a Dragon Punch, but you don't want them to fly through, it's not that you make the hitbox disappear. You just make them solid, but don't let them have any active animations. Doing, translated in mine, is the active I can be hit hitbox. Wow, that is that is repetitive. So you can get hit during this, and this also is your I'm taking an attack, therefore I can also block an attack. But if I don't have striking also included in this, while he can be hit, you can walk right through him. So usually you have these 2. And finally throwing is, well, throwing. Ratio, keep that at 100. Just keep it at 100. For simplicity, I will cover that in another video, but for this sake, keep it at 100. My whole game, they're all at 100, so it won't hurt you. Character select pick and stage face pick, that's for the character select, which I know I have it here. Here it is. Wrong one, sorry. Stage selection, right here. Or stage selection, character selection. This is what's going to appear in the stage selection screen. Or, why do I keep saying stage selection? Jesus. Character selection screen. So, for me, I have just a mini version of the actual sprite that appears. The whole roulette wheel thing is actually an object all on its own. Which, here it is. We got the character portrait. We have the character name. We have a command list, we have a super list, and we have the character select wheel. But in actuality, this is the only thing that's technically being loaded in the character select screen. And then this code is loading all the objects. So, since I forgot how to do a character select menu in the game system, I'm skipping this for now. Well, I can add an image. Typically, you want doing and throwing to be the same box. Yes, typically. But it does depend on the situation. To be honest, you should probably use all 3. The only time you don't use throwing is if they're in the air. They're airborne. So air grabs is something I will cover because it's not done as a traditional grab. Wow, this thing is old. Let's just load this. There, now he has a character select image. Wow, that looks disgusting. I actually don't like that. What was I thinking back then? Ugh. Okay, I'm done. I'm sorry. Unless you're Guile. Let's not talk about Guile. Or Geese. Let's not talk about Geese, please. Oh my god. He's kicked my ass so many times in MVC. All right, the stage face picture. Stage face picture. I could have swore I had one. I know I have one because Soshinde has one. Okay. Nope, that's way too big. I know he has one somewhere around here, but I'm not going to spend too much time looking for it. So, we're going to pick this just so I can fill it in. Alright. RI is shadow. I don't know why it's called RI in mine. It's called SHD in this file, so I used obviously a different client when I made this character. But in this file, in this client, it is RI, but that's your shadow. You can put your own custom shadows in here, or use the default one. I personally disabled it, mostly because of an artsy thing. If you notice in my stages, any background characters do not have a shadow. So it was weird to me that background characters didn't have a shadow, and player characters did. So instead of giving them individual shadows, I said screw it, and I just took off shadows. It was easier for me. All right. And you know what? These guys are still invisible. So add that. That. By the way, if you didn't know, copy and paste is still the same hotkeys. You can still do Control-C and Control-V. That is what I'm doing. So this guy is in the air now, so I'm going to disable throwing. And fudge. Go. This also needs a frame. We got a crouch. Defense frame, custom frame. Copy, paste, paste. This doesn't need it. Okay. So. Note, in real life, you can't remove shadows. I can damn well try. I'm just joking. Alright, let's just save because, as you guys saw, this has not been... Spider Maker has been a little wonky. Alright. So. Hit weak standing. Well, back to my sprite sheets. Let's use... Ooh, this one even has a crouching one. The crouching poke right there. Where's the start of this? Okay. So, there's a startup. There's the attack. There's the follow-up. I am putting these in reverse again, like an idiot. I'm gonna follow through with that because I already started it. And there's the... Oop, got a little bit of the other sprite. There. Putting attacks into hit junctions. Well, fudge me! I misread that. So now I'm just going to copy and paste this command. No one saw that. Alright. That off. That off. Eight. Paste. Copy, paste. Okay, now he's doing the Macarena. Great. So, again, we want to pay attention to detail. I'm not going to spend too much time with this, but again, I encourage you, if you're watching, to take the time and line up your sprites. The more detail you put in, the better your final product will look. So, if anyone's confused, well, it's a good thing we could edit it, but sure. No, I'm gonna keep that just to show that I'm human. If anybody's wondering why Soshin Day's sprite is currently offsetted, it's because you need to consider it's a picture. He is a picture. Your character is a picture. So your bottom corner is this foot, but your whole picture, and I'm just going to use a hitbox to demonstrate it, even though this is the main character, your whole picture is this. Always keep that in mind when you're animating. So let me delete that. So let's line this up so it just looks a little bit better. Not going to take too much time. Just make sure the back foot is kind of in the same place. Oh, that looks pretty good. I'll take it. Whoa, that's too low. Sinking into the mud there, buddy. Okay, that's pretty good. A little higher. Nope. A tad bit back. No, that. There. Oh. Oh my god. I'm spending way too much lining up sprites because I am way too anal. Okay, close enough. There we go. We have a basic attack. So now let's add a defense frame. This is a little bit weird. Okay. How do I want to handle this? And I'm not asking you guys. I'm thinking out loud. Because there is two ways to do this. I believe in my default game. No, it's a good lesson. It's a good lesson. Okay, so in my default game, when I made Soshin Day's hitbox, I did it this way. The problem with doing it this way, he has a lot of dead space in his back. So if someone hits him with a cross-up and they hit that dead space, Soshin Day will technically be attacked. A lot of people don't know this. But if you read Mag Launcher's guide, you would. Not calling anyone out, so I'm just poking fun. But this right here, M number, this represents your frame. So a person who got the basics of the game would probably go, okay, well, if I add another defense box right here, it's going to supersede the previous one. You're right. Except you're also wrong. Because you can have multiple boxes if you change this. This first one is called Hitbox 0. The second one is called Hitbox 1. And now Soshin Day can have two hitboxes. We'll make this one his back leg. We'll make this one his front body. Read Mag Launcher's tutorial or get called out. Official notice. That is Kisuke himself saying that, everybody. You heard it here first. So, to demonstrate what this has done, I'm going to set this to an absurd amount of time. And now, as you can see, Soshin Day has two active hurt boxes. Now he doesn't have that dead space in his back. The problem with doing this is now there's a little bit more work that has to be done because these sprites and these boxes will carry over to the next frame. So this frame is fine. This frame is no longer fine. So we're going to make this an absurd number so we can see what it looks like. So now, cyberbullying it seems. No, we are not doing that. You are not getting me banned this early in my streaming career. Anyway, now Soshin Day's picture, his picture, has moved out of the hurtbox frame. He is now in that dead zone that I stated earlier, but he's created a new dead zone. So, I want to say that this is another 2-box hurt frame. So, we don't need to do anything complicated. We'll just add another defense frame right here. Oop, not enough. Right there. Now, this is defense frame 0. That supersedes defense frame 0. When it gets there, we'll add defense frame 1. And now we'll make it his leg. That supersedes both defense frames. So when it gets to this animation, it will change. And as you can see, that works out perfectly fine. And you can see that the boxes are moving along with him. Now, let's make things a little bit nicer. Add sound. I usually use wave files. They're just easier to deal with. Let's see. I guess it's this one. Sure, let's call it that. It is not that one. That does not sound like a sword swing at all. That's why. Okay, general sound. Kata. I want to say that's for katana. There you go. That sounds like a sword swing. Oh, good job. Wait a minute. Oh. Yeah, 16 shooters, right. I did forget another thing. I forgot to add the attack box. So let's add the attack box. So, put it on his sword. And again, M number does exist, so if I wanted to, I can do... It appeared in the wrong spot. Attack frame. If I wanted to, I can draw one here, and then he has 2 attack boxes. Now, attack boxes are exactly the same as defense boxes. They will not resolute unless... resolute. Jesus Christ. They will not resolve unless you tell them. So, when I move on to this frame, those boxes are still active. Throughout these 4 frames, they're just there. They're just floating there. So you need to turn them off. So that's 2 things. I demonstrated 2 things there. So I'm saying the attack will end here. Just make an empty attack frame. It's done. There you go. Looks pretty good. All right. Let's give it some power. What's his health? 100? Oh. 10. Let's shave, which for me is chip damage. Guard fail, meaning unblockable. We're not going to do that. No sky decision, meaning if I check this off, this attack doesn't hit airborne opponents. Continue hits. This is... Let me finish my sentence. Continue hits is exactly what it is. If you have multiple attack boxes in one animation and you want it to hit multiple times, then you use continue hits. However, if let's say I do this, that's an attack box, but it doesn't have continue hits, this will not hit twice. Going from here to here will not hit twice. Once I hit continue hits, it will hit twice. But I do not want to do that for this one. I'm stupid. Deleted that. Okay. All right. Also, you would keep it for multiple frames if you want lingering hitboxes or multi-hit. Oh, yeah, I brought that up as you said that. Okay. So, we're cool. No detection, usually used for grabs because grabs. It also, literally as it is, no detection. Cancel makes it cancelable. Available for cancel. So, for now, we'll just use shave. We're not going to talk about cancels this video. So, that part's done. So now let's make him get hit. We made the attack. Now we need to have him be hurt from the attack. Oh! Remember, guys, copy and pasting is your friend. Look, there's a hurt animation right there. It's gonna look funny with him like that, though. Just back it up. There we go. Now, keep in mind that if he's in standing and they get hit and they go to this, I don't have a hitbox. You need to reestablish that hitbox. Again, minor programming. It is saying, if I am hit during this phase, I need to redirect to here and reestablish myself. So it's starting from the very beginning. So we need to reestablish the defense box. This becomes important during combos, which I'm not going to cover here. It might happen if it does. So make it 15. We're going to add a little bit of a kickback, like, I don't know, 5. Not 5. Okay. I don't know. Yeah, 1, and let's just 25 frames. Sure. That works. Okay. So now we have the reaction menu. This is where it is Enterbrain made this really simple. It is a simple, if I get hit, or I'm sorry, if this person gets hit during these states, this is what's going to happen. So for standing, we'll go with hit weak stand, which is just put. And I'm not going into game system because I already know that that hit junction already exists. So I'm not going to cover that part yet. Just yet, not just yet. That will become, I think that would be the next level after this basics video. Alright, so we got a basic attack. Why don't we add a Shoryuken? DP. And let's make it a ground DP, just for simple sake. Kind of like Akihiko from Persona Arena. Hate that thing from Cross Tag Battle. It's so annoying. It's actually really bad, too. Or Decapre, her DP in Street Fighter 4. Her DP sucks as well. Alright, so traditionally DPs are anti-airs and have some kind of invincible startup. So that's exactly what we're going to do. God damn it. Second I line up this sprite because of my OCD, which I don't legally have. Close enough. Oh my god. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. Close enough. Okay, so this is where I was telling you before about collide boxes. Striking box. This is all you need. He is now invincible, but the opponent can't walk through him. He has now invincible startup. DP also launches characters into the air. Well, Hakumen from BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle says otherwise, because his DP is a counter. Not trying to be a smart A because I'm a Hakumen player, but, you know, Hakumen is Hakumen. Now, I'm going to make this similar to Ryu's, where his invincibility frames last for a buttload amount of time. So this is also invincible. And here we'll make him active. You know what? Good enough for our purposes. So, that's not right. Attack frame. So, this is a video for, I mean, this is a video in itself. In a lot of games, mostly anime fighters, there is a downstate attack. The downstate attack is, well, you hit them while they're on the ground, OTG. 2DFM does not have that. You need to program it yourself. There's a very easy way to do it. It's just tedious because you need to do it for everything. Well, almost everything. Rather, let me rephrase that. That's wrong. It is not everything. You need to do it for if the character is on their back and they get hit with this skill, you need to redirect it. No, I lied. That is everything. Death to your balance, not if you do it correctly. Not saying I've done it correctly. So basically what I'm saying is how this attack box looks right now. I'll extend this real quick. This line that's going parallel from the bottom, that is the ground. So if Soshin Day were to do this attack to a down person who randomly has an active hitbox, this will hit them. OTG equals Marvel 3. God, I hate that game. Alright, this is a DP, so let's make it 15 with a shave, or a chip, whatever. And yeah, that works. Now, this is where the stupidity happens. Don't go overboard with what you actually see on the picture. So, Soshin Day's sword stretch, you can see it goes like way down here. But, I mean, think about that. That does not look fair at all. It's just, that just does not look fair. So, don't get carried away with what you visibly see. Try to be reasonable. And at this point, I say the attack is done. And let's give him a recovery frame. Actually, his weak attack doesn't even have a recovery frame. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Now let's add a sound effect. You know what? We uploaded it. Let's... That's a really fast DP. Okay, there we go. So, this is what Kisuke was talking about. Rainbow Edition says otherwise. Let's not talk about Rainbow Edition. So this is what Kisuke was talking about with the whole hit junction things. Now I can bring it up. When you create a new character and you create a brand new skill, that skill reaction, unless you're going to recycle, does not exist. So, I'm going to add a skill, DP, hit, stand. So, I'm just going to copy and paste this one, but this guy will... Let's have him lay down after this. Where's the down state? Here it is. Oh, he's floating. Let me fix that. Yeah, there we go. So, I'm going to have him pop up, and then he's going to, when he hits the ground, he'll be in a down state. So let's add his gravity. I decided 4. He'll go up. Okay, that's not that high. That kind of looks funny. Okay. So now we're going to do a loop again. And we'll loop there. Now we're going to add the landing detect. There. Add some recovery to the down state. Reestablish the frame. For the down state, I am actually just going to keep it invincible just for the sake of this video. Actually, this is a little weird. Let's put it that way. You know how sometimes you can actually walk up next to the opponent? If I did this kind of down state, they would be up to the feet, so that's a little weird. So, I like to do this. It just makes things nice and simple. So basically, there you go. Oh, nope, that's wrong. I didn't reestablish the attack box, or hurt box. There you go. So when he gets hit by the DP, this is what we want as the reaction. Now, my point about keeping things, is this running under the assumption that this is a late DP? This is under the... Aha. Good question. So, remember what I said earlier, how a light punch was the same as a Hadouken is the same as a super, as a Shinku Hadouken. This is the same property. It doesn't matter if it's light or heavy. You are building these skills the same exact way. You're just having a different reaction and different damage. So if I were to make this a heavy DP, then all I gotta do is maybe switch the reaction, or maybe the reaction is the same, and then change the power. So don't overthink it. Which is why, actually, that was the next thing I was going to say. This DP hit reaction is actually the same exact thing as a jump skill. This is literally the same exact skill as my back jump skill. This is the same as this. They are literally the same thing. And again, if you think of things that way, think in a simple manner, things will become a lot more clearer and a lot more easier. The only difference between this back jump and this DP hit stand, I have to add it to the game system. Yep, pretty much what I just said. Kisuke knows all this. He knows this. He taught me back when I was a wee lad. Oh, I'm not Irish, as I said, I'm Asian. Anyway, DP hit. Wait, stand? Is that what I call it? I don't remember already. Yeah, DP hit stand. Okay, so all I did was right click, hit stand. Or, I'm sorry, right click, add hit selection. Okay. Now, I'm not done. That establishes, hey, this is a skill. It exists. Great. It doesn't mean I can just go here and go, okay, look, there it is in the menu. Nope, it's still not going to work. We need to go now into character hit junctions and actually say what it's going to do. So right here, DP hit stand, it has nothing. So I'm going to hit this drop menu. I'm going to find it. DP hit stand. Whoa. Weird. Not reloading. Sometimes my client does that. Just have to click a different menu and then it appears. Now it says DP hit stand. So now when this attack hits, it will react with DP hit stand, and then this will be the animation. Weak stand already existed. That was default. I didn't have to do anything for that. So that's how you add a new hit junction. There's 3 things you have to do. Forever documented, forever hold your peace. Let's save. Okay. We have our 3 things. We have the basics for a character. I can technically start the game right now, but I'm not going to do that because I know for a fact that it's going to have these weird shadow images, and I don't want this client to crash. So let's add a stage, which is just a background. Call it new stage. I'm going to add a stage from a file just so I have something for reference. Tavern. Shouldn't I make DP hit for air and crouch? Yes. But I don't actually have those animated, so... Oh, wait, no. I get it. Yeah, I gotcha. You know what? Yeah, we can do that. Sure, there's no problem with that. Alright, anyway. So... the stage script tab, there we go, is extremely simple. You have one default player layer. That is literally where the players are. Anything you put beforehand, the players is going to appear behind the players. Anything that you put after will appear above the players. That's how I did the rain stage. I exploited the layers. But for this case, we're just going to do something nice and simple. We're going to call this one BG for background. This is not... Wait, is it? Yep, I didn't think so. This is just going to be the sky background, which as you saw in my other stage that I made, it is just a blue screen. So let's pick a mountain top. Stretch this. Pick that. Oop. Oh, why are you not cooperating? There we go. Oh, no, I should have done personal palette. Okay, we got it in there. So now we need to add a floor. So let's call this one floor. Like I said in the pre-show, I like to use 100 just for simplicity's sake. Oops, that's gonna add another image. Floor. View, large icons. Yeah, I know that's the reason. I think it's an old stage file. No, I know that is an old stage file now that I think about it. Let's put this one since it has a bunch of dead bodies. Oh, I didn't do personal palette again. Ah, that did not go as I wanted. That looks terrible. Maybe I shouldn't use a personal palette. Oh, because I didn't click personal palette, I clicked the other one like a moron. Yeah, that's how it's supposed to look. Go me. So, what do we learn, guys? Pick the right option. This is private palette. Alright, so now we got a stage. Background doesn't move. And the stage does. Yeah, let's fix this background because I know for a fact that it's gonna botch up somewhere. Let's pick something else. Yeah, this one will work. Do that. Please. There we go. Yeah, I know this one works. So we have a cave inside a tavern. Seems legit. Alright, now, as I said, bold is your neutral. These are not bold, these are not neutral, they will not loop themselves, so you have to loop them yourself. So make sure you add a loop, and then you're good to go. So I know this stage will work. Alright, let's see what we got. Right, I need to make a stupid demo. Go on. Good. Character 1, player. No, not that. Start animation. And look, they can move. We did it, guys. No crashes. And you know what? I'm stupid because I also didn't set their commands. All part of the learning process. This is how I started. Okay. So we have their commands, we have their attack animations, we have their hit junctions. So now we need to go into commands. Your command list works with your most complicated skills at the top. So if you have a super that's down, forward, punch, you want that at the top. And all your basic ones go down at the bottom. So the first one we'll do is DP, because that's whatchamacallit. That's the more complicated input. So I think I put it like at 30. See what he did. Yeah, 30. That works. So stand and stand far is just if they are standing there, they can do this command. And let me rephrase that. Stand is only if they're close. You can set their range here in the basics window. I know it's one of these on the right that I don't remember. Stand far is in they're far. I usually just put both just to be safe. So let's do a normal DP, down, forward, diagonal. Let's make this, I don't know. Add command. We're going to do weak, stand. Standing weak, which is weak stand. And to prove a point, it's also going to be A. Save often, guys. Save often. You can press F1 during your testing so you can see all this stuff. Look, he has an attack. There's his DP. DP, go. I missed. I missed again. I suck. Why can't I do this? I swear I can do this. There we go. Air hit. And then there's the weak hit. Now, if you remember, I didn't activate a reaction while they're crouching, or the weak hit. So as you can see, the attack is hitting him, but it's whiffing, per se. So, exactly, I didn't assign. That is the point I'm proving. I want people to also realize this is not how you make a whiff. This is actually what breaks games. You do not want this. You want everything filled. If it whiffs, it should whiff naturally, not by putting nothing. So don't put nothing, because that will break your game later on. I know, I've tried. Alright, let's save again. Now, let's go back into stages. Our stage works, but we want music. So first, let's add, not an image. Get out. Let's add sound. I like to add a image before the sound, only to establish it. And then this is looping at the image, so it's not going to replay the sound. So let's find a wave file, which I know I have. Sound, general sound. Wait, no, that might not be it. Music. Oh, let's pick this. Son of a bitch. Alright, I guess I won't pick that. Alright, let's pick a PvP. A DFO song. Go. Yep. Now we have music. That is literally all you need for a stage. Oh, wait, no, I lied. You gotta do one more thing. Remember that, how in the Basics tab, this thing doesn't work? If you put BGM, then you put this. Yeah, you can play it here, but it's not gonna work. So, the workaround that I've seen for everything is to have a sound there that literally does nothing. I don't remember what I called it. I think it was none. If I can find it. What did I call it? Basic. Oh, it's a MIDI. I made it a MIDI. Okay. There it is. None. And none. That is how you make a stage. That is literally it. You have a background and you have a floor. And let's lower this floor a little bit so you can see the background a little bit. We got music, we got a floor, and we got a foreground, and we have a background. And nothing is wrong. And apparently I can't use my number pad and my keyboard at the same time. That's a first. And if we want to add a little more depth, we can add like a little bit of a width to this. No, not. Yeah, width. So I don't know. Let's make it 40. See how it's kind of scrolling differently? If I add it to, if I disable it, then it's never gonna move. But if I add this, it adds a little bit of a scroll. It adds a little bit of depth to the stage, giving a little more perspective. Yes, you are right, Kisuke. That is absolutely true. Why don't we do that? I didn't touch variables yet, did I? And we are running an hour and 30 minutes into this tutorial. So, oh, okay, I use a task variable. Okay, so we'll do it the same way. I think that's sufficient. There are 3 types of variables in this game, in this engine. Think of variables as your most powerful tool, as they are. And I cannot reiterate that enough. A lot of times when people ask, how do I do this? The most obvious choice is usually use a variable. If you use a variable, it's something as simple as, I only want this guy to attack once in the air. Well, you can do a loop of the falling animation in the active skill, but then they can't air block. So you want them to return to falling. If you return to falling, then they can air block, but then they can do the attack again. So in order to do that, you set an air attack, and in front of it a variable. The second that air attack happens, the variable goes to +1, and then the next variable says, if this variable is at +1, skip to the end, and then it stops. System variables are absolutely precious. Save them until you absolutely have to use them. I have used them numerous times. And you are limited to what you have. Obviously, the stage select stages only use task and system. If you go to characters and you add a variable here, you will see that variables, you have a task, you have a character variable, and a system. I will explain that in just a moment. First, let's add a proper loop. We skip throws? Yeah, I did skip throws. Oops. I'll get back to them, because like I said, I handle throws differently. I handle throws like an attack. So, task variable, how'd I do this? Use this, replace. Oh, okay. Oops. Number of rounds. What was it, above? Yep. Okay. So, what this variable is reading. Task variable... Oh, getting ahead of myself, I'm sorry. A task variable only works in the line of code it is currently in. So, if I were to put this variable in the floor skill, it cannot work with anything in the BG skill. So this variable will only read in this line. In this case, this is all we need. So right now it's reading task variable A, it's using the number of rounds. The replace is just saying, it's just allowing me to tick off use this. I am pointing at my screen as if you can see my screen, what I'm pointing at. The replace is just allowing me to select use this, data number of rounds. Your number of rounds is 1, and I said it's above, which the second a match starts, it's already above. So, when this happens, it will read the BG skill, reads the variable. Initially, it starts out at 0, or 1. Once round 1 ends, it will be above 1. So when it repeats, it will read this variable, and then it'll skip the image, it'll skip this sound, and then it'll just loop the image. So when it goes to round 2, which I will demonstrate now. No, hold on. Let's do it this way. No condition bands, no calculator. So, oops. I forgot what button this is to kill, but whatever, it's fine. The music didn't loop. The round changed, and then the music restarted. So if we activate our variable, it's going, like I said, it's going to read, it is round 1, it is not above yet. So it's going to read this image, it's going to read the sound, it's going to play the sound, it's going to read this image, it's going to fall into this loop, and then the loop is going to go back to this image, into the loop, into the image, etc., etc. Thank you for telling me it was F5. So now that I have established this variable again, I'm going to hit save, test play. That's not F5, that's F4. I'm a genius. Anyway, so F5, round 2, the music is still looping, just like a traditional fighting game. Yeah, but that's cheating. Absolutely is cheating. A lot of times when I have my friends playtest my game, I just quickly press F5. Well, that was back in the day. So there you go. There is a complete stage. That is all. There is not a lot to it. It is not as complicated as people think. However, if you didn't know about this Basics tab, for some reason I can't click on things now. Interesting. Yeah, I cannot click anything. I can click the skill window, but I can't click 2DFM. I'm not too sure what's going on. Well, it's a good thing I saved a lot. That is not the right program. Alright, back in business. So we have a stage. We have a character. What is the blue box underneath the foreground? Oh. That was something I added on just in case I needed it. It's nothing special. It was to make sure that... It was also to make sure that 2DFM doesn't select one of the main colors in the background. Whatchamacallit? It doesn't take that as the transparency color. You don't really need to do that if you select the proper palette. Why 2DFM? Just why? Oh my god. Anyway, so yeah, that the blue bar is just to, it's just so the transparency doesn't be, the main brown colors don't get picked as transparency. But yeah, this MIDI that's none, all it is a MIDI I created that had literally zero sound. I have a program called Guitar Pro, Guitar Pro 5 right here. I can create MIDIs in there, and that's exactly what I did. I just outputted a literal 1 second MIDI to just fill in that. The sound I just used a wave converter. Alright, a sound converter. Alright. So, we got a stage, we got characters. Our game is pretty much working. I'm going to lower this. Let's add a block. Blocks are pretty good, right? Luke. Yes. Block. Okay. Doshin de... Why do stages look like confusing messes? Well, remember that what I said about adding detail? What I showed you was a bare bone stage, but remember, that is how they made it. So you can take what I just taught you and go above and beyond the stars with it, because that is just the basic formula. You can add the layer, like what I did with the Blaze Blue stage. That's a perfect example. Actually, I'll upload that real quick and I'll show you how bloody mess that was. Oh look, there's the DP animation. Anyway, what was I doing? A block. Let me do this first, and then I'll upload that stage. I don't see it. We also need to add an air attack and a grab just for completeness. I really don't see a block. Oh, I guess correctly. There's his block. Okay. So, just because of time, I'm only going to make it one image. He seems like he's floating a bit, so... Remember, always reestablish your, whatchamacallit, your frames. Now, a lot of people think it's a block, so he shouldn't be able to get hurt. But if you don't make it a hurt frame, the computer won't know that it's a block string. So Ryu ducking light punch, light punch, light punch, light punch. That's 4 hits. If you do make your block just invincible, that second light punch is going to fly through, and then this guy will just go straight into normal. However, if you do this, where it's all 3 and they're blocking, it will allow them to do block strings, and you can have pressure in your game. So normally there's some kind of pushback. Let's make this 25 frames, -1. Yeah, that's good. Let's save because I'm crashing a lot. Okay. Add stage from file. Game, main. Oh, this is not as much of a mess as I thought it was. So, yeah, this is that, stage that I created that I was so proud of. Looks like I did a lot, but in actuality, I'm looking at it now, it's not a mess. Also, the delay in the sound is because that was the Versus screen playing. That's a video, again, another video for another time. Alright. So, we have a black background for the night sky. We have the night sky. We have tower. We have light bulb. We have the main tower because I'm recalling I had transparency issues. We have the floor, which this is where I established the music. No. This is where I established the rain. I established the music in the background. And then this is the rain animation. All... My god, how many frames is this? A lot. I remember why this was a mess now. So these variables, you can see it's a system variable. When I was talking about freezing projectiles, if a Hadouken is shot and the super is done, time freezes. The Hadouken freezes. Well, the rain also needs to freeze. Each one of these variables in between each one of these frames is a freeze variable, which in my case I made system variable H. So when system variable H activates, it will freeze in that frame for the rain. So that way there's a complete time stop. So, yeah, exactly. Stage interaction. This is that's character plus stage interaction. Excuse me, someone is knocking on my door. And again, family. So anyway, that's the basics on variables. Let's delete that guy. So we got a block. Now we need to establish that block. The same way we established a junction. So block, hit junction, block, kill, reaction, block, DP, reaction, block. Demos. Fudge. Okay. Wow, that has a lot of range. Hey, he's blocking. It's doing chit damage too. Why did I do that? Not even, it's just a basic attack. Alright, we got a block. We got a DP, a special move. We have a basic move. What else do we need? Oh, we need an air attack too and a grab still. Alright, let's do... Let's do an air attack first. Even though I clearly made this grab. A tatak? Because the way, like I said before, the way I do grabs is unorthodox. I'm going to recycle this animation for the grab. But we got to modify it a little bit. So at the very start, we're going to take a condition fork, detect skill, landing, and you can put it as whatever you want. 20 degree command grab, yeah. I'm just going to recycle the jump up land for this. And then he needs gravity, which we'll add as... Oh wait, no he doesn't. I lied. I'm a total liar. Don't mind my character mess. Yeah, they don't need gravity. Actually, they don't need the detect skill, do they? No, they don't. I'm a liar. Yeah. You can just copy and paste it. So, weak stand, air attack. Add it there, save, test play. Hey, he has an air attack. So, if you look on the top where the HP interface is, you can see that after I do the attack, he goes to falling. That allows me to do multiple air attacks. So, that's why I said falling is actually your air neutral. If I don't direct it back to that, like here, let's put it this way. This air attack, I'm going to say go to this. Now it goes to that falling animation. It's also not reestablishing the boxes. So if I do that, See, now it's how it's going to jump up. I now can't do multiple air attacks. Me personally, no, I do not use common images. Like I said, they're usually used for grabs, but they have their uses. I'm not covering that today. I will cover it though, because that is a default system and it must be covered because it is useful. But no, personally, I do not use common images. All the grabs you saw, well, let's just go to Soshin Day. Where is this grab? Dear God. Here we go. His grab is an attack. I can't pause it. Why'd I make it one frame? I'm stupid. So as you can see, his grab is actually an attack, and I just have it redirect into player manipulation. So I will show you how I do it right now. Grab, which, yeah, that one. So we'll do this. Make it 15. No, let's make the recovery that. Okay, establish a defense frame. I know what I'm saying is very repetitive, but a lot of programming is repetitive. And this isn't even real programming. I'm not making fun of people, but no, this really isn't real programming. So don't try to make it overcomplicated. You gotta think simpler. Even if it was real programming, I say the same thing. Make it simple. There's a traditional saying in all math classes, kiss it, keep it simple, stupid. Same thing, keep it simple here. Do not overthink. Alright, attack frame. Actually, now that I think about it, this is a stupid place to put it. Delete. Attack frame. Delete that, because we don't need it. That's a long active frame. Copy, paste, recovery frame, attack frame. In OSCP, my motto became think dumber. That works too. Alright, so now we're going to do a detect skill, and we're going to end the skill there. So, the attack has to hit, and we need to put this as while guard. So the attack while they're guarding, so it's a grab, it goes through it. Guard fail. No, not while guard. I'm sorry, that's guard fail. No sky decision because it's a grab, because that will be completely stupid. And I believe we need while receiving. Soshin Day, help me. Yep. So, we have that established. And now, let's have it redirect to this. So if the grab hits, it's going to redirect to weak stand. Just so I don't need to make another grab animation. Oh, hold on. No, not yet. We're going to do, let's get a little fancy. We're going to redirect here to this image. And then this image will change where they're standing to always go to this point. And we're going to use hit weak stand. And now we're going to redirect to the attack. Skill, weak stand. This is not the most optimal way. Yes, I remembered. I also didn't put a command, so he can't do the grab. Add command. Grab. Stand. Grab. grab, and let's make this B. That's not a B, that's a C. Doesn't really need much because it's one button. This is cross tag battle, one button grabs. Or, no, that's two button grabs. Whatever. So, the way I could have did it was, there's this grab, nothing happens. But if it hits, see how the other character twitches, and then Soshinde goes into his grab animation. That's how I handle grabs. It works pretty much the same as doing as using the whatchamacallit, the common images, except it's all within the character. So that was just easier for me to handle at the time, and then by the time I learned how to use common images, it was whatchamacallit. I was like knee deep in like 6 characters, and I didn't want to turn back. Now, the reason why the attack isn't happening is because this isn't continue hits. So, it's a single attack, so let's do continue hits. So we'll go back in. There you go. Now the grab is actually hitting him. But if I back up, no grab. So we got a grab. We have a basic attack. We have air attack. We have a DP. We have a stage. And actually, this is what I mean. We have a fully functional game right here. That's it. This also speaks to the benefits of making one character as completely as possible and using it to create a template. Yes, that's actually what I did. In DFO, you'll notice that there's a lot of... No, there is the same sprite. So, Soshinde has the same sprite as Bwanga. Bwanga is just inflated. So, I copied and pasted Bwanga to make Soshinde. Somewhere in Soshinde's files, he has Bwanga sprites. I just never replaced them, and I didn't care. But it cut my work down tremendously. Copy and pasting is your friend. Just make sure you're organized and you know what you're copy and pasting. So, I have created essentially a fully functional game, minus the I don't know, the garden and the flowers. If you make any type of one button attack, a light punch, a heavy punch, medium punch, crouching punch, they are all the same. You make them the same way as this weak stand attack that I created. It's just going to have a different animation. You make it the same exact way. And then when you go into commands, right here, weak stand, crouched, you select it. Select it. Just like how I did here with air attack. So, it's hard to grasp, but again, simplicity. Your standing weak attack, your crouching weak attack, and your air weak attack are all the same. If you think of it that way, it's very easy to program. They won't act the same, but they are created the same. And the DP I created, that's your basis for a special move. If you're going to make a Hadouken, make it the same way as this DP. If you're going to make a different DP, make it the same way. It's all the same. Grab, this is my own twist of it. As you saw, it works. The only problem is you're going to need to do a little bit of variables to switch it up, or I'm sorry, to make sure that they don't grab a projectile, which that is the main disadvantage of making a grab my way. Blocking, it's just a frame. Or I'm sorry, it's just a picture. And that's it. After that, this conglomeration of what I did right here, yes, all of this is all necessary. But it's all the same thing. It's copy and pasted over and over and over. I mean, Look at this. Okay, he's getting hit. Great. So let's go down to this one. Oh, it's the same exact thing, except it's a different sound effect. One is if they gets hit with a blade. The other one is as if he's getting hit with a punch. But they're literally the same exact thing. So I can honestly say, with this, if you were to make a character and just copy and paste, you know what? I have enough time. I'll demonstrate a point. That's not the point I wanted. I just pasted over my DP attack. I'm an idiot. It's fine. Add new skill. Strong hand. This is a strong attack. Strong attacks are usually slower. I'm going to modify the startup, and I'm going to increase the recovery. There. We have two different attacks now. Weak, strong. I literally just copied and pasted. You want to change the animation? Fine, just add different pictures and then rearrange the hitboxes and attack boxes. That is all you're doing. I'm going to delete this because I know that's no longer a DP. But yeah, that's it. Complex systems equals several simpler systems tied together. So if you were stuck, break it down into small steps and take those one at a time. Absolutely, that is definitely a legitimate way of tackling problems. And what's the other one? You can also copy-paste entire skills between characters. Images and sound contents won't transfer, but it's good to know regardless. Yeah. Sounds do not transfer. And if you have a different sound in place, so let's say you saw me, I put a sword swing as sound 1 on this guy. But sword swing is sound 2 when I copy and paste it on the other guy. But he has a punch sound and sound 1, so when you copy and paste the sound, it's going to default to sound 1. That's it. Just select the sword sound and then you're good to go. Now, I'd like to believe I haven't done anything complicated, but this is enough for anyone to get started. The CPU tab is fairly basic. Oh, nope, not that. Let's just say attack. We want him to do weak stand. The probability from 0 to 100, let's say 20%. If the character is in the air, he has a 20% chance of doing that if it's ticked off. If enemy is in the air, he has a 20% chance of doing it. So, the advantage of doing this, make a new one real quick. Air attack. And then air attack, I don't know, clash. So, we'll do weak stand. If the character is in the air, he has a 20% chance of doing that. If the character and the enemy is in the air, he has a 20% chance of doing that. These two are two different things, but they're actually asking for the same thing. So, the interval is pretty much the range. So, if they're from 0 to 160, that's close range, basically. Now let's go to 160 to 320. That's middle. And anything beyond 360 or 320 is long range. So, you know, you do this, then it's good for projectiles. You do this, it's good for DPs. That's basically all what the interval is. It's not saying anything complicated. It's just like, where is he? If he's in this range, I have a 20% chance to do this. So, let's put this there. Press save. And now I'm going to put this player as a CPU. I'm going to back up. He's not going to do anything. But if I get close, he should have a chance, or he should think and go, I want to attack this guy. There he goes. Yep. But I back up. I'm not in his range anymore. He's attacking me because I'm in range. Now, I only set it to the ground. So if I jump over him, it doesn't work until I land. Okay. Now the other reason why he's not moving is because I didn't add that. So if we want him to walk forward, he has a 20% chance of walking forward, and that's it. That's all you do. So he's standing there. Now his only AI is walk forward. I didn't set an interval. You know, let's just make it the max interval. At least I think I'm doing that correctly. Walk forward. Yep. Okay. Get away from me. Get away. Not like this. Not like this. But as you can see, he stops moving the second I jump. That's because his walk forward AI is only for the ground. As long as I'm on the ground, his AI says he wants to walk forward towards me. And again, copy and paste. You do the same thing for air AI, walk backwards AI, attacking AI. What range do you want to put them, and what's the probability of them doing them? If there is, let's say, a definitive chance you want to anti-air. So, DP anti-air. I obviously deleted my DP skill, so this won't work, but let's say it's 100. The enemy is in the air, and we want to make sure that they do this in a reasonable range. So, 100% chance when the enemy is in the air and they're within this range, they will do a DP. Yeah, probably would, but it's just for demonstration purposes. But you know what? Let's do it anyway. So this will set them to do the DP whenever the enemy is here. However, the second they detect them in the air, they will do this. So maybe this is not what you want. Maybe you want it to be a true anti-air DP. So what we're going to do is this is going to be set to none. This will be set to DP. This wait time doesn't matter. This wait time, let's say they want to wait half a second to make sure that the enemy is in the air and above them. So they're going to stand there for half a second. Then the DP will happen. Thus, the AI will exploit the invincibility startup frames. So that's just one way to program it. I wouldn't set it to 100. It's just an exaggerated example, because if it's 100, then the AI will always do this and won't do any other attack. So, but that's how you do it. So let's save again. Now let's go to story mode. Story mode, you need demos, but basics, you add a fight, pick the character you want to fight, have their level, which 0 to 100. You pick their start position, which is an XY value, or no, an X value only, which is just where they're going to appear. I don't remember exactly what I did for... Oh, that didn't translate it over. Okay, going back. I don't remember exactly what I used, but... Oh, wait, there you go. Look at that. A little help. So the center of the map is 640. This is the one I was talking about where you can have different CPUs up to 8. It's stupid. And I'm drawing a blank back here. Yep, drawing a blank. I've also been doing this for close to 3 hours now. I think I'll cover story mode in its own tutorial. Sorry, I think I'm almost out of gas. Yes, delete that. But anyway, at the very least, with what I've done in this video, you can do attacks, you can do your block. You know how you can rewind this video as much as you want. You can see where I added hit junctions, you can see where I added commands. There's not a lot to it. And I even threw in my own spin of how I do a grab. Not everybody has to do grabs this way. There are plenty of other games that do it differently. This is just how I learned it from, I think it was like some Spanish game someone made in the Spanish 2DFM. But anyway, it is late for me, and I know it's even later for 16-bit. But that is the basics. I will cover... Fudge. I would like to cover more, but it's late. But this is the basics, this is all you need. Any last minute questions? I'm gonna sip my cold coffee. Last minute questions? Okay. Next time I will cover a little bit more about variables. See if we can do cancels. Technically early, but no, I think that's good for now. Sir, it is 11 p.m. where I am. I know you're at like 3 a.m. at this point. So, thank you for showing up. I will make a new YouTube channel, and I will upload this there. I'm going to obviously edit out certain things. And that's about it. Thank you for showing up. See you guys in Discord.